turn that.
Oh, who's the one?
Everybody trying to be content creators and trying to go viral. You want to go viral?
Okay, you want to go viral? Let's go viral then.
Say less.
Let go.
Let's embrace it. Let's love it. Let's enjoy it. And let's give them the experience of their life. That's Roswell for you, baby. Come together. And guys, this is Speaking Out Loud. I appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to share and dance like you just don't care. It's early in the morning. Let's have a day. And like I said, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS. Shout out PMS. Good morning and welcome to Speaking Out Loud. I am your host, Rene Ruiz, and along with me is the man with the tries, the man with the buys, the one with the broad chest, the one, the only, John Barba.
Yo, what's going on?
Johnny, how's it going, my brother?
Good.
Well, today is a beautiful day. It's a little cold outside coming out of here from Roswell, New Mexico at 6:30 in the morning, JB. The sun's not quite up, but it's starting to set. It's a beautiful day. It's been a little cloudy these last couple of days, a little rainy. I personally love it. I'm ready for the fall, or it is already the fall. So we need to transition our brains. The clocks are going to change here pretty soon. Are you a fan of the daylight savings? Do you like when it gets dark sooner, or do you prefer when it gets dark later?
I prefer when it gets dark later. Yeah. I'm not a big daylight savings guy. I don't like waking up. I don't like waking up early and then the sun's still down, you know?
Because it makes you want to stay in bed.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of that. And it's like
you probably feel it a lot more now too, because we do the show, right? So like you get up and it's like, what? Where's the sun?
Yeah.
Where is the sun? But JB, NFL Week 6 kicking off with us today. Just a couple things we just got to cover real quick. Las Vegas Aces closed out the WNBA Finals yesterday with Asia Wilson having a phenomenal performance, taking over the league. Some people are calling her the greatest basketball player that ever lived. You look back and you think of people like Candace Parker, Maya Moore, people who dominated the league. You know what, JB? Whenever I heard them say that, what I was thinking was, I wonder if 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 it's just so early where like someone like Asia is so dominant because she's big and is able to shoot and dribble the ball, but at some point I figure the league will get to a point where like most girls that are in the league are like 6 foot and are able to dribble and shoot the same way as Asia. Obviously, you expect the sport to continue to grow. I mean, you see people like Caitlin Clark who are now doing like Steph Curry like things. At some point, you assume that girls that are like 6 foot are going to catch up and do the same thing. You kind of see it in the NBA now, right? They're starting to weave out of smaller players. Like it seems like the smallest player now is probably like 6'4". People like Steph, Chris Paul, the guys are sitting at like 6'2", 6'4". NBA is kind of weird because it seems like they lie a little on their height. Like they give them like an inch or two, but still big humans. But now you got 6'8", 6'9", 7'2". I think Wemby, they just reported him that he grew like 2 inches, and now the dude's standing at like 7'5", which is crazy. And he could dribble like a guard and shoot like a shooting guard. I mean, basketball is growing like crazy right now. I mean, what's your thoughts on the WNBA?
I mean, they definitely need some more, dominant type players that can take over the, like Caitlin Clark's presence. That's what it's all about. Like people want to see that. People don't want to see,
JB
guards missing layups. Not the most athletic looking. Like, I mean, let's be honest. Like, I don't know. I want to see the best of the best. So like, hopefully this helps like women basketball sports, like basketball just evolve. I think taller women over 6 foot, like you're labeled as like a 4 or 5, like a power forward, a center.
Yeah, right away.
Hopefully we can get like more players like Asia Wilson, but how many women can do that? So I think you're gonna have
they're coming
players. You're gonna have your standout players like that, and then I think the guard play is still gonna be like 5'9", 5'10", that kind of stuff. So even like 5'8", I think there's still some players that are like 5'8" and stuff. So sports just got to evolve to be more.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
That was fun. That was fun. We did the WNBA. That was
Yeah,
good.
let's
That
just
was good.
move on.
Let's flip the page there. Let's go to another
Yeah,
sport,
dude, people don't
MLB.
want to see Angel Reese. Like, come on now. It's not the most exciting brand of basketball. Like, we don't
Yo,
even know
don't
if
be a
she's
hater.
left or right-handed. At this
You
point.
love yourself some Angel Reese, yeah?
I
Love.
mean, I don't mind her. I do kind of like Angel Reese, but I don't like her as a basketball player. No, no.
That's what she wants to be known for. She don't wanna be sexualized. Cut it out. Cut it
I
out.
know. Sorry.
Stop it. Stop it. JB, MLB,
Cancel
Yankees
me.
go out. It's a bummer in New York right now. Bummer in New York. And we'll use that segue to transition to the Thursday night football game that we have tonight. It seems like New York is down in the dumps. They need some hope. They need a lot of hope tonight. And you know who they have coming to save the day, JB? They got a boy named Jackson Dart. Got a lot of moxie, got a lot of swag. Yeah, they did drop a game last week, you know? They had a tough game. They came out quick, dropping 14 points. New York was like, "Oh man, we got a guy. We got Jackson with an X. That's the guy we want." Moxie Swag coming out with some presents. Him and Scatterboo, right? Scatterboo, the hard head, the crazy white boy. Kind of reminds me, if I look back into my high school days, it kind of reminds me of like, do you remember Ryan French? Just a dog. Him and like Lance. I forgot Lance's name, but two just crazy white boys that woke up in the morning, tossed a couple 70-pound hay bales, and then had their cereal and they went to school and then smashed their head against other folks there at football practice. That's the kind of dogs that I see from Cam Scatterboo. And that's what my expectation is today. Part of me, my little bias hasn't left yet. It's gonna leave here in about 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'll cover the Philadelphia Eagles. But JB, if you're a New York fan, what's your expectations of the New York Giants tonight?
I think you got to play to what was working. Obviously, when they were up 14-0, you're gonna have your ups and downs. I mean, they were still in the game. Scatabo fumble, obviously fumble six,
Sure.
opened the game up at the end right there. So you still had a chance to win that game. We could be talking about Jackson Dart being 2-0, but I believe he did have two turnovers as well. So it's all part of the growing process, the pains of being a starting rookie quarterback in this league. And it sucks too that we're not going to be able to see kind of the full potential of that Giants offense, later on in the year when people get a little
Yeah.
bit more comfortable in their roles because of Malik Neighbors, unfortunately. But I think you got to build off the running game. The offensive line is playing decent. They're gonna have to hold up tonight. Like I said, keep moving Jackson Dart out of the pocket. The quick game is going to be your best friend for quarterbacks like this, for offensive lines like this, and you got to get established a running game as well. So,
Establish the
do I
run.
expect this game to be close? Do I expect it to be an upset? No, not really.
No. You know what's crazy is none of us expect it to be a close game. I think most of us are thinking that New York, it is at home. So that's got to give them a little bit of a boost. But I think most of us are expecting for Philadelphia to go down there and really put an exclamation point on them, right? Especially with all the drama that's brewing in Philadelphia. The AJ Brown still, the news just continues to swirl with the drama of him being upset. And then PFF is starting to drop a bunch of stats about how I saw one this morning where uh, Jalen Hurts is third in the league in balls, uncatchable balls, third in the league, but they're also fifth in the league in wide receiver separation. So immediately when I heard that, I'm like, interesting. So this doesn't seem to be. You can't just point the finger at Jalen Hurts. And like I said Tuesday, JB, when you look back at that game, Philadelphia's game against the Broncos, Jalen Hurts threw a couple dimes that should have been, I mean, that were very catchable. I mean, we just look back at that one play that just keeps getting played over and over of AJ Brown, right? Releases over, double moves over the top, and he slows down. If he doesn't slow down, I mean, it was a beautiful spiral. I think comes right down right in the breadbasket. At what point do we start looking at this team? Like, do we hit the panic button if the Eagles lose today? And do you think they're going to go back to running the ball? Because right now, I mean, they're not the greatest. They're not the greatest running team right now. I think Saquon Barkley's only averaging like 65 yards a game right now. So what is going on in Philadelphia, JB? Do we point the finger at the running back? Do we point the finger at the offensive coach? Is this a Nick Sirianni thing? Is this AJ Brown, Devontae Adams thing? Or are we just going to throw all the blame on Jalen Hurts? Where should we be pointing these fingers right now? What
I
direction?
think first of all, you got to point them at the offensive coordinator isn't kind of setting this team up for the best success. And then Jalen Hurts. So by fifth in the league on wide receiver separation, you mean to clarify what wide receiver separation is? When you're fifth in the league, that's your separation from how open you are. If a cornerback is guarding you, so if these guys are top 5 in the league at separation, that means that they're getting open. I mean,
Hey, my fault. Said that wrong. At not.
okay, so they're fifth worst,
Yes, my bad. My bad. And then Jalen is third worst.
third worst at finding.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yep.
you're saying that the wide receivers aren't creating separation. So
I'm not saying that. PFF is
yeah,
saying that, but
PFF is saying
yes.
that. So that tells me that obviously the guys aren't getting open, but you got to scheme them open as well. If you guys can't get separation, okay, how can we be creative in the offense to allow these guys to have separation? And a quick thing I wanted to point out too is all the receivers were wearing like neon green shoes, and supposedly that was for Jalen Hurts to see him open downfield.
No.
I saw that on a show. Yeah, there's a podcast going on with like Dave Portnoy or something, and they were talking crap about Jalen Hurts. So I there's
Oh my
obviously an
god.
issue. There's an issue. I think offensively,
Control.
schematic wise, I think that needs to be tuned up and fixed, and they need to be more creative on offense. And Jalen Hurts got to be better too. Like there's another highlight of the week before. So 2 weeks ago, literally every Jalen Hurts completion was at the line of scrimmage. There was like one that was like over 5 yards or something. Like they're not doing anything really creative to get these guys open. So that's a big thing. You got to get these guys open. You got to scheme them open. Put guys in motion. Put AJ Brown in motion. Put Devontae Smith in motion. Like we're seeing like creative play calling. Like if you don't have creative play calling, like in this NFL, like you're already like a step behind. Like what's going on? Is there a reason that they're not being creative is because of Jalen Hurts? Like what's going on? Obviously, like I said, this team has moved to like the offensive line is not dominant like how it used to be. It's like middle of the pack this year. The running game is nothing like how it used to be last year. So, middle of the pack, whatever, if not worse. Defense isn't as dominant. The secondary's got some weak points. So like, is this team dominant like how they were last year, like winning game? No. But can they turn it around? Obviously they can turn it around. It's just can they or will they? So
Yeah.
like this creates the open, this is where we talk about the NFC. This is what makes the NFC so good right now, is that it's wide open. A lot of teams can compete. I mean, in the power rankings or however you want to call it, I would have the Lions well above the Eagles right now, as far as a
Our
complete
Eagles
team.
sitting at JB, let's bring on our Packer enthusiast, our NFL enthusiast, Mr. Earl Robinson. Yes, E-Rob, appreciate you joining the show. Hey, we're talking.
What's up, guys? Good morning.
What's going on?
Good morning, bro. JB threw a little jab saying that the Philadelphia Eagles are wearing green cleats so that way Jalen Hurts can see his wide receivers. But hey, who do we point the finger to right now? Is this a Jalen Hurts issue? Is this a wide receiver issue? Offense coordinator Nick Sirianni? In your opinion, what are we looking at whenever you see Philadelphia? Where do you see the problems?
I mean, I would pump the brakes and say they lost one game. They're 4-1. I don't know that there are a ton of problems. Now, I totally agree their offense hasn't performed super well. Specifically, the rushing game. I think Borba, you touched on that at the end. The offensive line isn't blocking like they did last year. Barkley isn't having those big 40, 50-yard gashes in the running game. And then Hurts just isn't consistently hitting his receivers. So their offense isn't playing well. With that said, they've played well enough to win 4 games. They also really should have beat Denver. They blew a 14-point lead. If they win that game, we're probably not even having this conversation this morning. So I think there's room for improvement, but I
I don't
still
know
think
though.
Philly is the team to beat in the NFC.
It, I honestly still think we would have this conversation. I think the only thing that makes it hard to really put pressure on Philly is because they are winning, because they are 4-1. But when you watch their games, it's almost like, I mean, ultimately they're just winners. Right now, they just know how to figure out a way to win, which is good. I mean, that's what we all wish our teams had, right? We all wish they had that it factor that when time gets tight, they are able to perform in the biggest pressure moments, and that's what Philadelphia is doing. But when you watch those games, I mean, they're blowing crazy leads right now, and they're getting It seems like they're getting lucky. They're having like that Kansas City effect or that Patriots effect, where it just seems like the ball's kind of bouncing in the right direction, but it's not necessarily them. No, I'm being a hater. All right, let me stop. I'm being a hater. I'm being a hater. I'm being a hater. I'm being a hater. I'm sorry.
They
Hey,
got
E-Rob,
outplayed by Denver. They honestly got outplayed by Denver in that
in the
second half.
second half,
In the second half, sure. But they also just put it on Tampa Bay for most of the game the week before. Tampa Bay
Yeah.
looks like one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the NFC right now. So I don't know.
same
It's
thing though.
it's a
Second half,
every sure, but they still won.
Dallas, second half. Like it just seems like the second half is the issue here with Philly.
What was
Is
Dallas
that
going to
is that
do?
no? I'm talking about their games where they had a lead and they kind of allowed the team to stay in it and put pressure on them in the fourth quarter, lose the game. I mean, you can't. What JB before this game against the Bucks, Jalen Hurts had no completions in that second half, but we're gonna say there's no issue there.
Big issue.
Yeah, huge issue. Huge issue. Jay, speaking of issues, there's this man that already beat the Packers once, and he's heading back to play them again. JV, E-Rob, the reaction from Packers fans on X. I'm not saying real people. I'm just saying people on X. They seem a little nervous, a little scared of Mr. Joe Flacco heading over to play Green Bay. What's the energy like from a Packers fan right now?
Joe Flacco beat the Packers out of default on being on the Browns team that beat us. I mean, Flacco did not play well that game. They ran the ball
100%.
a little bit. Their defense played phenomenal. I have no concerns with Flacco being the quarterback of the Bengals this week.
Yeah, I
Not
mean, I
even,
think
not even a little bit. You didn't
No,
see him slinging that rock yesterday, huh?
I think it makes the Bengals offense a little bit better, but either way, we should beat that team,
As an
especially
owner
at
of
home coming off a bye.
yeah.
yeah,
Like
yeah, for
Flacco's going
sure.
to know like 7 plays.
Yeah. And the one thing is
The ch
you're not playing with that Cleveland Brown defense to back you up. You're playing with literally like the worst defense in the league. That's the biggest
Right.
thing. That's the biggest
what?
difference. Bengals
Y'all
are
didn't
not
y'all didn't see
good
yo,
defensively
the
at all.
the Cincinnati locker room right now is talking about the big brain of Joe Flacco, how he's already digested the playbook. We're talking about like 30, 45 plays this guy's already put into his brain. We're not nervous whatsoever. I mean, he still has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. You're an owner of T. Higgins over there on your fantasy squad. Like, we're not excited. We're sending T. Higgins to the bench. That's how confident we are that this Bengals team stinks.
I mean, yeah, yeah. We should beat the Bengals by two
God.
scores at home.
Okay.
I
Just
mean,
cute.
All right.
I could
I'm taking the spread on that one. I'm taking the spread. I think
the
the Packers should
14.
14.
romp them. Should romp them, dude. Should kill them.
Earl, this has to be Michael Parsons' coming out party, right? Has to be.
I mean, he's already came out. He's had his party. It
You weren't invited.
I mean,
I
yeah,
mean, I guess
our
according to PFF, he's like top 3 defensive player of the year right now. Not sure how, but PFF has got it
that,
down.
that's
So
because
I'm gonna
you're a
just take them
hater.
for their word. No.
You're a jersey burner.
What? I haven't seen nothing crazy from him.
Yeah, that's because you're only looking at how many sacks does a player have, not the impact on the field, which is what PFF grades. Right? If you're drawing a double or a triple team
Oh,
every
yeah.
single
Which
play, you're impacting the field without sacking the quarterback.
interesting. 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 It seems like our roles have reversed this year, huh?
I don't.
Now all of a sudden, Micah Parsons, Defense Player of the Year. We got to give it to him.
I didn't even say that.
I know. I'm trolling. That's the X comments getting to my head right there.
Yeah, I mean,
No, but
to
hey,
go back to your point, like our defensive line needs to show up this week for sure. Like the last thing you want to do is let Jamar Chase and T Higgins run around for 8 seconds. Like even Joe Burrow or Joe Flacco might be able to find them. Even Jalen Hurts might find them if it's that long.
Yeah.
you guys need to chill with the Jalen Hurts slander. What other game are you looking forward to watching this weekend, Ero?
Man, I would say Chiefs Lions is probably my top game for the week. I think
Detroit
Chiefs. What's that?
2.5 point underdogs for the Lions.
It's in
Really?
KC, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me. That's basically home field. It's about 3 points.
Yeah, man, but as hot as Detroit has looked, I mean, what are we expecting Kansas City coming off a tough loss? I mean, you're expecting them to come out guns blazing?
I think they have to. I mean, I don't think they can get to 2-4 in that division. Granted, I mean they'll get a wild card. I don't think there is 7 teams better than the Chiefs, even with if the Chiefs start super slow. They'll get Rasheed Rice back. I think week 7, so
Yeah.
that'll help the offense. But I mean, they really should have. I don't know if I should say should have beat the Jags. They had every opportunity to beat the Jags. The Jags really tried to beat themselves, and they found a way to do it. Um, but
So close.
I think that's probably the game of the week is Chiefs Lions, in my opinion.
Chiefs, who you got winning?
I think I'm going to take the Chiefs at home.
Is that are we
I
being a little biased? Or not? You're not, because you kind of hate Kansas City at this point, right?
Not as much. Now that they've lost a
Ah,
few
the
games, they're
family's growing on you. The family's growing. I get it. All of a sudden, I like the Pittsburgh Steelers just a little bit, just because my in-laws kind of drill it into my face a little bit. It's cool. Hey,
there we
go
go.
Steelers, go Chiefs. Until they win another Super Bowl, then you're gonna hate them, right? Like right now, you're just kind of bumping the new Taylor Swift album, but let the Chiefs kind
No.
of get a couple W's, and you're gonna throw that thing right away. But E-Rob, anything else you want to say? Hey, I do want to ask you about the fantasy league, the Survivor Fantasy League. How are we doing on that in that league? Bless you.
We're doing good. Like you mentioned, we spent a lot of our money on T Higgins the week before Burrow got injured. So that's been tough to overcome. But we're alive. Got a good three-headed monster at running back with Genty, Kyron Williams, and who's the third one that I'm blanking on? ETM, Jags running back.
Yep.
So that's kept us afloat. Plus Baker at quarterback was a solid pick for us. Thank God we didn't take CD Lamb at 13 overall. We'd be out.
We would
Um,
definitely be out.
but yeah, we're sitting pretty nice. We got to manage some week 8 buys, but so does everybody else. So
Hey, we
hopefully
got
Flacco
trolled.
can
We
throw
got
to
trolled.
T and I can start starting him again.
We got trolled a little bit for taking Baker over CD Lamb, which in most leagues you would think you're an idiot. Why would you do that? But in this situation, let's mind you, this is a Survivor League. There's 18 teams in this league, now down to 12. And somehow, not somehow, because of our beautiful brains, Earl. That's why. And we're still here surviving at week 6. Hopefully, we get past this week. And we're being led by Baker right now. Yeah, it's fair to say the MVP Baker is leading us. How do you feel about Baker's MVP run right now?
He's looking good. I don't know if I'm ready to give him the MVP yet, but he's looking good.
Prisoner of the moment.
Uh, yeah, I mean Baker's fun to watch. Like he truly is fun to watch. He's so passionate out there, and he's not afraid to get in your face and let you know how he feels.
Talk a little ish. Yeah, I saw that interview that he had yesterday where they asked him how does he feel about how the script has turned from him being immature, because he was doing the same thing when he first came to the league with the Browns, kind of a dog, getting in people's faces, talking a little ish. And then at the time he was called immature, not ready for the league, blah, blah, blah. And then now he said it's kind of funny how different day, same stuff, but now he's being called a dog, you know. What was it? A dog and he used something else, but basically, yeah, it's crazy how the flip scripts. But whenever you win, or how the script flips, but whenever you win, everything changes. Everything is a lot better when you're winning, and that's kind of what we're seeing in real life happening with Baker Mayfield. I mean, at one point, JB, we had a moment of silence for this guy's career, and then Sean McVay resurrected him as if he was godlike or something. And now we're seeing MVP Baker. This is nuts. I love football so much. NFL Week 6 is kicking off this week. E-Rob, before we let you go, is there anything else you would like to address?
No, I think that covers it.
Go Pack, go.
All right, go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go. Everybody, Earl Robinson.
All
Thank
right,
you,
see you
E-Rob.
guys.
Later.
Have a day, brother. I don't know. I felt nervous energy from Earl there. Very nervous energy. I know he made it seem like he wasn't nervous, but once I brought up Joe Flacco's name, if you go back, rewind maybe like 45 seconds, as soon as I brought up Joe Flacco, he got that 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 was a nervous laugh, JB. I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Joe Flacco goes over there and wins a little 17-16 type game. 140 yards for Mr.
That's
Joe
gonna be
Flacco and
crazy.
some. Hey,
That's
there's
gonna
that.
be that's gonna be
That's real
more
though.
issues with the Packers, definitely, because the Packers, that's gonna be offensive issues. If you're only putting up 17 points on the Bengals, that's an offensive issue. If the game comes down to where it's like under 20 points, then I think it's anyone's game at that point. But that's
Yeah.
where the Packers should be able to be explosive enough on offense to get, at least I'm at least expecting for the Packers to win to get 31 points. At least 31 points, 31-10, something like that.
JV, just put yourself in this situation. If the Packers, let's just say they just struggle, not necessarily lose, what are the storylines coming out of that game? If they squeak out a win, or, I mean, if you want to be a little extra, if they lose.
Well, I think the biggest okay, so if we're going about like the hypothetical route, I think the thing that's going to keep them close into the game, and I'm going to say it all year long, I've been saying it, is Jordan Love. Jordan Love will keep the other team in the game. He's not him. They're never going to win with Jordan Love. Clip this, mark it 3 years from now, I don't care. They're never going to win with Jordan Love. This is the type of quarterback that he is.
Never.
I think he'll have his hot streaks, but he'll also have his cold streaks. He'll make stupid, dumb-headed, boneheaded throws, and he'll turn the ball over. And I think that's always going to be Jordan Love. So he's not the most accurate quarterback. His accuracy is it's below average. His accuracy is below average, and that's what's going to always hold the Packers back. It's always going to hold the Packers back. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Brett Favre. Like, we should be happy that
Okay.
this guy's not gonna be that. Yeah, because he's not.
All
He's
right.
not. He's honestly just not.
Mark, we're gonna go ahead and mark that. I love how
Mark
I
it
go.
up.
All right, you're all hypothetically speaking, and then you go off, and then you go, nope, clip it. We're not talking. We're not talking hypotheticals anymore. I mean this.
Hypothetically, if it is a close game, is what I'm saying. The reason why it would be a close game. So if it is a close game, the reason why it would be a close game is because of Jordan Love. I will tell you that right
Okay.
now. I'll tell you that right now.
So you're telling me the storyline, if they lose hypothetically, or if it's a tight game, the storyline is going to be what is going on with Jordan Love. That's what you're telling me here.
But it's always been that. It's always been that.
Oh
That
yeah. Okay.
that's
All right. All
always
right.
been the issue.
It's
So
just gonna get loud. It's just gonna get loud.
it's you got to take the good and you got to take the bad. But no matter
Yeah.
what, I don't think the good is going to be good enough to beat an elite NFC team or, make it to the final four or make it to the NFC championship game. I just don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But that was hypothetical. Now, realistically, what we're expecting is the Green Bay Packers to go out there and perform. We expect their defensive line to really, really kind of let
I
it
expect
loose.
no
I mean,
issues.
we're talking about an offensive line that has been one of the worst in the league. And Micah Parsons is coming into town, one of the best pass rushers of all time, or not of all time. Hold on, chill. Let me pause for a second. All right, let's get back. One of the best pass rushers currently right now in the league in 2025. Micah Parsons has to ball out. This is his time to pat his stats going against this miserable offensive line. Don't know why they brought in Joe Flacco. What's crazy to me is that Zach Taylor said that they didn't talk to the New York Giants about maybe Jameis Winston or Russell Wilson. They didn't reach out to anybody. They were locked in. They said that they didn't fit the culture or they didn't fit the system that they were wanting to operate. So they thought bringing in Joe Flacco will make that change. I mean, hopefully, I'm praying for Joe Flacco. The guy's already not mobile, so I expect him to kind of have. I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Joe Flacco retires after this first game on Sunday. Uh, hashtag pray for Joe. That's what we're going with. Hashtag pray for Joe. JB, let's go down these games though. Philadelphia Giants. We briefly talked about it at the beginning of the show, but you didn't give me your pick. You got Philly or the Giants?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Philly. I just think they
Yeah,
forced
both of us.
Jackson Dart to make a couple mistakes. Offense is still young, so I'll take Philly. I don't think it's going to be a blowout in any sense or anything like that. I expect it to be actually like within a 10-point game. Like it'll be respectable. They're coming off a short week. It's just one of those games you got to get through it. Saquon's not 100%. I don't think he might just be a little bruised up. Maybe he is 100%. I don't know. Is anybody 100%? No, probably not.
No.
So I expect the
Bounce
Eagles
back
should
game.
handle it. The Eagles should handle it. So I would take them by 10.
As I'm looking at the schedule for week 6, it feels like a bounce back weekend for a lot of teams. You know, there's a lot of matchups. It's not the greatest matchup. They're not the greatest matchups this weekend, especially after what we've seen from some of these teams. Obviously, injuries playing their part, but it seems like a bounce back game for a lot of these teams from last week. I mean, you got Green Bay, right? We just said seems like a bounce back. Philadelphia against the Giants seems like a bounce back. Denver against the Jets. You know, not necessarily a bounce back, but a way to elevate themselves from that second half from the Eagles. Regroup, reset, and let's go. Let's roll. But Denver Jets, expectations and who you got winning
Big thing with the Jets is that their defense has progressively like
in
gotten
London.
worse. Huh?
I'm sorry, this game's in London.
In
7:30
London.
a.m. You like those 7:30 games? How have those been for you? Because you've been watching them. You are the Vikings fan. They've had
Yeah,
back-to-back
it's
weekends with
I mean, I have
7:30
no
games.
problem waking up early. It's just it kind of sucks. I mean, it's cool because your team plays early. You're done watching, and then you can kind of go about your day. You can still watch some football. Like you can get some things done. So that's the only positive thing. But I like watching at 11. But 7:30, as long as you can wake up and watch the game, then you're good. But I like watching at 11, when the other teams are playing and stuff like that. So it makes it a little bit more, exciting, I guess, in a
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I have no issue with it.
Nice. Well, yeah, I don't mind it either. I like it. I like waking up and watching football early. It
Yeah.
sets the tone for the rest of the day. Honestly, it gets you pretty juiced up. I do feel bad for the guys that are doing the pregame shows. They probably got to get up like at 5 or 6, which is easy to do during the week, but on the weekend, tough stretch. Denver versus Jets. Who you got winning?
I'm gonna take Denver. I think they're gonna be able to run the ball pretty effectively. Bo Nix has got to keep progressing when it comes to just making big plays, and that's what they did at the end of the fourth quarter against the Eagles. They were making big third down conversions. They were getting Cortland Sutton involved. They were using Cortland Sutton's body, just big dude. Like they were just throwing it up to him, kind of in a sense, and they were just he said, "I'm better than your corner. I throw it up to me, let me make the plays." So they were making timely plays. I think they carry that over. Good running game. They take advantage of a Jets defense that's not been great. They've gotten worse. They've been getting really bad. So that has all of a sudden turned into a weakness that we thought was one of their strengths. And I just don't think the Jets. Obviously, the Jets aren't a play from behind team. So if you take the lead
Yeah,
on
yeah,
them,
yeah.
that's when you can start forcing Justin Fields to make mistakes. That's when you can really send the guys after Justin Fields. And Nick Bonito is turning into one of the best pass rushers in the league. They got a really good defensive line. I mean, honestly, the Broncos roster is one of the best in the league, like talent wise, of a complete team. So I expect them to keep getting better.
Yeah, with the Broncos, it just seems like we're just waiting. It's a matter of patience. If you're a Denver Broncos fan, you watch your team and you're just kind of like, all right, Bo Nix is gonna get it together. Bo Nix is gonna get it together. And then you see that second half against Philly, and you're like, all right, now we're moving. All of a sudden, Cortland Sutton looks like a young Metcalf. Come on, let's go. I'm here for the Broncos. Give me the Broncos today. It is. I do feel bad for Jets fans. But it is interesting. There was a couple stats that came out that you go from a top 5 defense with Robert Saleh, and then you fire him, you get him out of town, and then now you're the worst defense in the league. And you were known for taking away the ball, and now you've had 0 takeaways this season going through 6 weeks, and now there's questions about Sauce Gardner being washed. This is nuts. This is absurd. The content is starting to lag a little bit. It's starting to get a little. I don't like it. There's a lot of disrespect going around here, JB. And what's crazy is it's not like small content creators. It's people on big networks, ESPN, Fox Sports. Like the fact that someone said Sauce Gardner's washed because he's on one of the worst defenses in the league. I mean, that's tough. That's tough, especially as a corner when you have no pass rushers. I mean, we all know this, right? A lot of things can be hidden if you have a solid pass rush. And right now, the Jets have nothing, it seems like. I mean, this team, we're talking about a team that averages 319 yards per game offensively. That's 20th in the league, JB. 0 takeaways. That's 31st in the league. And currently, the turnover differential is at -8, 32nd in the league. Tough look for
I
them.
think they're the
But we're going
first
with Denver.
they're the first 0-5 team in history to not have one single turnover.
It's tough. Should we let's pray for the Jets or a moment of silence for the Jets season.
Yeah, they're done.
Uh,
Put a fork in them.
first round pick. First round pick. First
Hey, New
round
York,
pick. That's
we're done with you, New York.
Let's go Arizona heading over to Indianapolis to go against Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor. Uh, MVP season over there happening in Indianapolis. Pat McAfee and the boys seem to be juiced up about the possibilities of what Indianapolis can do. They're a smash mouth offense that just run it down your throats. JB, an Arizona team that's coming off a controversial weekend. Buddy got smacked in the chest, smacked in the hand, and everybody seems to be losing themselves. But you can kind of tell the people that haven't watched football and have. Also, there's a lot of NFL players coming out saying, if they would have put their hands on me, I would have been squaring up with that coach. There's a time and a place, and there's also that beautiful saying that says, damn, I forgot how it goes, but be who you can afford to be. And you got people like James Harrison who says, "Yup, you might as well have my bail money." Bro, that guy that fumbled that ball and probably cost him the game, that kid is probably making no more than like 500,000 that year. You think he can afford to square up to his coach and ruin his reputation? Like, let's relax. All you got all these all pros coming out all crazy. Oh, I would have slapped that coach in his mouth. They better call the cops on me. Like, relax. Afford who you can afford to be. And obviously that kid can't afford to put himself in that situation because then he'll find himself never having a job in the National Football League. Like, let's chill. Sorry, JB. That just irked my skin watching all these guys talk about trying to big dog it. Oh, I would have beat him up. I would have told him what's up. Like, all right. Like, also, you were an all pro. Like, there's maybe Dak can get away with saying something crazy, but Rene Reese that just came up from the practice squad. You think that guy is gonna have the cojones to say anything? Hey, let's simmer down a little bit. Sorry, I got a little excited. I'm gonna take the Indianapolis Colts to get this win. The headlines continue for Daniel Jones, in my opinion here.
Oh yeah, for sure. Jonathan Taylor might be the best running back in football right now. Yeah, I'm definitely taking the Colts. I like what the Colts are doing, so I think they win this game. Improved 5-1. Daniel Jones in the MVP conversation. I mean, I think ride the momentum. Momentum carries on this week.
I don't know. I know Caitlin Clark isn't. She's a Kansas City Chiefs fan, but ever since she came to the city of Indianapolis, it feels like that city is booming. I mean, you saw what the Indiana Pacers did, and now we're seeing what the Indianapolis Colts are doing. We saw what the Indiana Fever have done. They got all the way to semifinals with half of the roster injured. I mean, Indy is popping right now, literally. I mean, they got Mr. Mark Sanchez having his little situation. But anyways, JB, we're going to both go with Indianapolis there. Now you got this is a good game here. Chargers being able to bounce. Speaking of bounce back, Chargers got to bounce back against Miami. We got to get Justin Herbert back in the MVP conversation. This is the game to do it. It feels to me, this feels like the start of the end for the Miami Dolphins. I think they really get the work put on them with Justin Herbert. I know they're missing 3 offensive linemen. It's looking a little tough for them with injuries, but everybody's got the injury bug right now, so we can't use that as an excuse. Justin Herbert has to perform. But with this loss this weekend at home, I do feel like we kind of see the end of the Miami Dolphins, and we're going to see a whole lot of moves coming soon. What do you think?
I agree. It's a pivotal point of the year for the Dolphins. So if you lose this game, I think there might be some turnover in Miami. So Mike McDaniel, he's been on the hot seat. I mean, this guy can't even talk in his interviews. He sounds like he's drunk half the time, high. Like who knows what this guy's on right now?
He's
He's just not making sense. He's
he's on
not
the
making
sauce,
sense.
baby.
It just seems like Mike McDaniel is more of a offensive coordinator instead of a head coach. There's some guys in the league, we've seen it in the past. Obviously, Josh McDaniels, he's not a head coach material. He's an offensive coordinator. Mike McDaniel might be leaning in that direction where he kind of loses his head coaching spot, turns into another offensive coordinator, turns an offense around and things like that. I just think there's a lot of blame to go around right now in Miami, a lot of heat on Tua, a lot of heat on Mike. So this is a very important game. Like if you lose this game, we might be seeing the first firing, head coach firing this year. It might be coming because it's coming. There's gonna be a team that's firing a coach. Right now, it's
Yeah,
Mike
yeah, yep.
McDaniel is at the top of that list. So huge game. They got to play. They got to
This
play and they got to win. And this is a winnable game for Miami. Honestly, it really is. The Chargers, I don't think they are what we thought they were. I mean, we always hype up the Chargers. We always hype up Justin Herbert. So I I just don't understand why the Chargers can't kind of put it all together. I know injuries are always a thing. Maybe that's what's holding them back a little bit, and now the injury bug is starting to catch up to them. But yeah, Chargers have always been overhyped coming into every year, and Justin Herbert always seems to disappoint just a little bit. And now that they're getting a little bit stagnant, the offense isn't as good, the defense isn't flowing as fast, So it's a big game for both teams, honestly. I think there's more pressure on the Dolphins in this game, or else I do think we see a firing. Mike McDaniel is probably the first
Sure, I
head
don't
coach
know,
firing.
JB. I mean, I think the pressure is equal for both teams because oh man, that noise is going to get so loud. If this Chargers team drops this game to the Miami Dolphins, I don't know. I think the conversation around Justin Herbert is going to get. I mean, it's going to get ugly because right now, they're playing the blame game on TV right now. The offense they're missing 3 offensive linemen. Now they lost another running back. They lost both running backs. Right. It feels like he's about to get the Dak Prescott treatment, the Jalen Hurts treatment, where it gets extremely loud. And at this point, we can no longer use injuries as an excuse. Because the one thing that they do a lot is, or the one thing that TV does a lot is they they will put people on a pedestal and they'll allow injuries to be an excuse to a certain limit. And then at some point you become the question of, okay, are you the quarterback that they're winning games because of, or you're just a quarterback that's managing a game? And I think we're coming to that point where we're going to start questioning Justin Herbert as, okay, maybe he's not a guy, but is he even a good game manager? That I think that's where we're sitting if they lose, hypothetically speaking here. But I do have the Chargers winning that game,
Yeah.
and it sounds like you do as well, correct?
I will take the Chargers, but if they don't, for some reason I don't know why I'm kind of leaning towards the
This is
Dolphins.
a trap
I
game.
just think there's more heat
This
on
is
the
your trap
Dolphins.
game.
Like I think there's more heat on the Dolphins right now. I think they have to win this game. Dolphins have to win this game, and they can. But I just don't know. I don't know if they do. I really don't know if they do. And it's like
Nick,
Justin Herbert can, like what you're saying, can he like elevate the guys, make the guys better around him? Like he's had talent at the wide receiver position. Maybe the wide receivers are kind of bailing. He's got everything right now. I mean, obviously he's lacking the offensive line and the running backs. His 2 starters are hurt,
so
Najee
is a lot
and
of other
Hampton.
teams.
So you're gonna have to find a running game right there. But obviously, if the running game's struggling, then Herbert, okay, take over this game. Make
Yeah.
elevate this offense to beat a struggling Dolphins team right now. Can he do that? That's a big thing. So this is going to prove, you know, I mean, this is going to say a
Yeah,
lot about Herbert and the Chargers, or it's going to say a lot about the Dolphins. So like I said, there's pressure on both teams. A lot of I think there's more pressure as a team on the Dolphins, but as a player, there's more pressure on Justin Herbert. Like he
for
hasn't
sure.
proved anything, and he hasn't done anything in this league. He's choked away a 28-0 lead against the Jaguars a couple years back in the wild card round. I
Sure
mean, this
did.
guy has just not he hasn't produced the way that all these people expect this guy to produce. He's just your NFL prototypical quarterback. I mean, Jackson Dart came in and said game day and had Madison Beer on his Instagram. And what did he do? What did Jackson Dart do? He came in as a starter and shut up Justin Herbert. And Justin
Come
Herbert
on.
had nothing to say about that, bro. Jackson Dart posted Justin Herbert's girl on Instagram and said game day tomorrow.
Come on. Let's eat. Oh
That he
my goodness,
ate,
the disrespect.
and ever since then, Chargers been 0-2. So I don't know who's in whose head. Who's got
Hey,
more pressure on him?
Raider Raider fans
You
right
keep
now are
losing
just
this game, Justin Herbert. You keep losing these games, Justin Herbert. Madison Beer ain't gonna be around no longer. She's gonna be over there on Jackson Dart's sideline, baby. Blinged
yo,
out, iced
yo,
out.
yo,
Check
relax.
my wrist.
You're a wild boy, JB. With that being said, JB, Cleveland is heading over to Pittsburgh for a rivalry game. It seems like Cleveland's kind of packing it up. There was a massive trade that happened yesterday. Let me show it to you here, JB. Adam Schefter reported another major Jaguars Browns trade. So to me, you look at this and I see, okay, Jags are making some moves. Jags are trying to win. The Jaguars get Greg Newsome and Jets 2026 6th-round pick from the Browns, and the Browns are going to get cornerback Tyson Campbell and Eagles 2026 7th-round pick from the Jaguars. JB, what what do you think of this move?
I think the first thing that it's about is obviously you're paying Denzel Ward, right? You're paying Denzel Ward,
Yep.
and obviously they don't trust Greg Newsome to, for some reason, for one reason or another. I don't know if he's had any issues or because this is a guy that you're gonna have to
I didn't
pay.
see anything.
So this might be a salary cap casualty, and this is what we might be seeing. As the trade deadline approaches, some teams just don't want to pay certain guys. At the end of their rookie deals, and this might be one of the things for Greg Newsome is they're just not going to pay him.
And that would be called starting to bank it in, starting to look at next season, JB. And that's what I feel like the Browns are doing. And the headlines continue for the Browns. At this point, it's starting to get a little annoying. I mean, how did they find Shador Sanders at a car dealership and find a way to still get him on camera and release an interview about Joe Flacco being traded? Sometimes saying less is saying more. What a beautiful saying. What sometimes, JB, saying less is saying more. Sometimes saying nothing at all is the loudest statement you can make. And right now, that's what I feel Cleveland fans feel. Every time they see a camera put into Shador Sanders' face, it's not making it any easier for Dylan Gabriel. How do you move on as an organization? Now you have Kevin Stefanski coming out in an interview saying, I don't know. I haven't made a decision if Shador is going to be the second quarterback or the backup quarterback. Like, bro, the PR team on this Cleveland Browns team is terrible. Just put him as the backup. Even if you don't feel comfortable, at least you're going to shut everybody else up. And I get it. You're not thinking about the noise. And in most locker rooms, I'm going to assume they don't care what anybody else says. But at this point, in the age that we're in now, I'm sure Dylan Gabriel sees all this crap. And I don't know that they're making it easier. If you're looking out for the best interest of your team, let's get our shite together. We got to get our shite together, bro. I feel so bad for Cleveland Brown fans. Like the only thing, one of my favorite moments as a football fan has been going to Logan Rader's house and watching the Browns play the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. Watching the enthusiasm from him and his friends. There was about probably 25 people at his house, men and women, just enjoying the possibility of the Browns having a chance for the first time in who knows how long. I mean, we Stone Ages. We're talking about like the Geico commercial caveman guy was still depressed back in the day. because the Browns still sucked and we're still looking for a quarterback. And somehow, some way in 2025, we're still in the same situation. And they had a guy, they had Baker Mayfield, and they sent him away because he was the problem. He was a locker room issue. They allowed the outside noise to affect what's going on in the organization. And it seems like they're allowing it again. I hate what the Browns are doing. I think the I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to smack this team in the mouth, give them a reality check, and the noise is just going to get louder. It's going to get so loud if Dylan Gabriel has bad game. I mean, this guy's leash right now is like this, JB. This guy cannot lose it. I don't know that he can lose this game, or I don't know that he can play bad or even play decent without the noise of Shador getting louder and louder. And it doesn't help when the friends of Deion Sanders, who are media heads on ESPN or Fox Sports, continuing to push the narrative. Like, allow this team to develop. It's almost better for Shador if he doesn't play, and then he gets a fresh start next year. Like, I just wish, in my opinion, I wish that they would be patient with them, because you don't want to try them out with this team right now. You don't want to try them out with this team. I don't think.
Yeah. The first thing you want to think about is, okay, can Dylan Gabriel improve this team? The way that I look at it is, so you have two quarterbacks, two rookie quarterbacks, right? And the Browns, they just wanted to make the move for Shador in the 5th round, right? I mean, they didn't have to draft him. They took a risk drafting this guy, and I think you know the risk. I think you know the risk when you draft a big personality like this with what his dad says and all this stuff. Like, it's gonna be the PR, the media. It's gonna be always thinking about, Shador getting in the game. So they're pushing for
Yeah.
that. That's what they want. That's what the media wants, right? That's what they want. Now,
What's
realistically,
crazy is it's Cleveland Brown outlets. Like, it's like the
yeah,
city, your own city is against you because of clicks and views. Like, it's insane, bro. It blows my mind that your own peeps, what do they say, JV? Sometimes it's the people in your own circle. And right now, as a city, Cleveland is trying to drag this team, and it just grosses me out, because I would hate to be a diehard fan for this team and then see the way that the media is acting towards Shador. Like, bro, come on. JB, sorry. Let's talk. Tell me about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tell me about them. Tell me about Aaron Rodgers. Tell me about DJ Metcalf. Tell me about Mike Tomlin finally being able to get over just this successful season, this winning season, and how they're going to get over the hump this year.
well, I think the regular season wise, the Steelers are a good team. I think they're the favorites right now to win that division. I don't think there's nobody to compete with right now. I think the Ravens are going to go downhill even when they get Lamar back. Like, can they turn it around? Maybe they'll be fighting for a wild card. We say the same thing about the Bengals. Like, if they can be 6-7 by the time Joe Burrow gets back, maybe they can win 3 in a row, maybe in a wild card. So we're saying all these wild card scenarios. Browns, I think they're done. Um, as far as the Steelers go, what they've got going, I think they still lack a running game. You still lack that bell cow. Jalen Warren, he's a dog, but he's more of like a scat back. Your modern day kind of Darren Sproles in a sense. A guy like that, a little bit more physical than Sproles and stuff like that. But I just think they lack a running game. Their defense is good. I don't think it's as great as it has been in the past, but it's still good. You still have a couple issues in the passing game here and there, but overall, I think they are a team that you have to respect, and they are contenders. Now, how deep do they make it when it comes to facing the Bills? When it comes to facing, I mean, I think we would assume that the Chiefs turn it around, but like up and coming teams like the Broncos, if they get their act right and everything like that, is this team better than the Broncos? I don't think so. Is this team better than the Chiefs right now? I still don't think so. I still think the Chiefs can beat the Steelers. Bills, I think didn't lack all what against the Vikings. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I didn't know Cheech was in the chat, but Yeah, I just think there's a lot of issues with this team that will get exposed, against better competition. So, do I think the Steelers are good? I think the Steelers are good. I don't think they're going to make a deep, deep run into the playoffs. They might make the divisional round, the second round of the playoffs. So,
Yep, yep.
yeah, as far as deficiencies, I still think they're lacking a few things that are needed to be a top team in the AFC. I think the run game, and if the defense can tighten up, I think the defense is going to help out tremendously. But I think the lack of a running game will eventually catch up to the Steelers. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. I do think I'm a little more optimistic about the defense because they've shown us. If we look at their
Yeah,
previous seasons, I mean, they've shown us that they're going to elevate themselves, especially coming down the stretch there. It's always kind of been about the offense. What can the offense create? Can they set that running game? Can the offensive line perform? It seems like the offensive line has been a big question mark. Also, their offensive coordinator. I didn't like the one thing that I would say I'm not as enthusiastic about is I didn't like how against when we Cheech just brought up the Vikings game and we looked at that and it was 4th and 1 and we didn't allow Aaron Rodgers to go out there and just win you that game. I didn't like that. I'm hoping that stuff gets cleaned up and that you trust your quarterback going forward. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. JB, we're not gonna be able to cover every game. You want to know why we're not gonna be able to cover every game? Let me tell you. Well, tonight we're going to be going live at 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. They're in the fourth quarter of this Sunday night football game. Hopefully, it's a tight one, so it can be a little juicy, a little interesting. Philadelphia against the Giants on Prime Video. It's kicking off at 6:15, but we'll go live at 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. JB, as we send these folks off, I just want to tell you the Dallas Cowboys have an MVP quarterback. And I think I'm ready for this game on Sunday against the Carolina Panthers. I think this is a tone setter for the rest of the season for us, JB. There's a lot of question marks about this Cowboys team. I know we're 2-1 and the Carolina Panthers are sitting at 2-3, but they got a bigger problem than just Mr. Javonte Williams. They got Mr. Dak Prescott coming into town, JB. Sign me up, JB. Put me in. Where do you want me, JB? You want me to be a lockdown corner, or do you want me to get in my 3-point stance and be Michael Parsons of what he was in Dallas? I'm thinking Kenny Clark was talking a little trash to good old Rico Dow because he said, "Hey, buckle up." And Mr. Kenny Clark said, "Boy, you got to play us too. You got to line up against us too. Watch the film, son." Unfortunately, when I did hear Kenny Clark say he's going to watch the film and see who we are, God damn, this thing's a little tight. Sorry, JB. I think that this is a helmet from when I was like 7 years old. Shout
yeah.
out to those garage sales. JB, I'm juiced up about this weekend, but I'll catch you tonight, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Also, you guys, the lines will be open 575-808-9307. JB acts a little different when the lights kind of
When the
tone
lights
down
get
a
low,
little.
baby.
All of a sudden, Mr. Nightclub comes out. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. We'll catch you guys tonight. JB, anything you want to say to these beautiful people?
Have a good day. Have a good Thursday. Let's
Yeah,
kill
be a
it.
friend. Tell a friend to join the show tonight. And we'll see you guys tonight. I appreciate the love. I appreciate you guys grinding with us, especially waking up at 6:30 and getting ready with your boys. Hopefully we entertain your ears and hopefully we entertain your eyes. Now it's time to have a day, as JB just said. So let's have one. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking out loud.
Everybody trying to be content.